Greetings, everyone. I'm going to try to bring a balanced argument to this conversation. But before that, I'm going to go down memory lane. I think 1985 or 86, I was living in Spanish Town. And the only person who was working at the time was our father. At that time, I'm 18 years old, and I had older siblings. In fact, everybody else in the household at that time was older than me. And I remember he would leave $2. And out of the $2, we would buy 2 pounds of flour and 2 pounds of chicken back. And we would eat that, chicken back and dumpling. That would be our only meal for the day until nighttime when he comes home, and whatever he brings, we'd cook it. Now, I'll tell you stories about that, because when I think about that time now, I don't think about it with sadness. It's actually a fun time, a fun memory. It was poverty, but it's a good time in one of my books. Not literal book, but that mental book that I have in my mind. It was a good time. It taught us self-control. And for me, it motivated me to want to do better, to go in pursuit of a better life. So one day I'm going to make a poor man's mukbang. So you see kind of things that we would eat, because we didn't have money. Anyway, I don't want to get into that too much in this video, because what I really want to talk about here is the difference between then and now. The kind of concerns we had back then. See, back then we were more satisfied with what we had, the little that we had. The boiled dumpling and the butter on it is something that most Jamaicans know about. I'm not talking about rich people. I'm just talking about regular poor people or ghetto people. No? And when we are making these kind of meals, we're sharing it with strangers, we're sharing it with our friends. It's a good thing. We were not unhappy. We were not having these meals and saying, oh my God, I'm so poor. No, we were enjoying it. It was good. Nowadays, young people are worried about the kind of car they're driving, or they want to drive even when they don't have a job. They're worried about the name brand belt or purse that they see in the magazine. They're worried about the body. And this is the part that I find very frightening. Now, the balanced part of this conversation is going to come when I say, as a middle-aged woman, I understand why older women start to have these insecurities about their bodies, as you get older. And if you're a mom and you've breastfed your kids, your breasts are not going to be the way they used to be, right? And so if you're used to having, a beautiful body when you're younger, and you really notice the changes in your body, of course, it's going to kind of affect your self-esteem somehow. I get it. There are times that I have thought to myself, wow, if that was a safe thing, if it was as simple as going in for a facial, if it was like going in for a new hairdo, or something that's going to uplift you or the way you feel about yourself, oh, maybe I would do that. Maybe I would do the tatas. Don't tell me it's never crossed your mind. You wouldn't go through with it, but you would think to yourself, wow, it'd be nice. It would be very nice to have some new boobs. But the danger in this is that young people with their nice, firm tatas, their nice, solid legs and buttocks, are actually going to do surgery. Now, this video is not to bash people who are doing it. This video is to just talk about it, to say things and times have changed, and we know that, of course, things are going to change. Of course, we don't expect things to stay the same all the time. But what frightens me is the young people, the young girls that are doing this. So she has a B cup and she wants to have a D cup. And when she gets a D cup, all you got to look at is just nipples. And, you know, she had a regular size buttocks and now she has a flaming torch butt. And everybody got to see that she did it. Got her. Things have changed so much. So when we were worried about what we were going to eat and be satisfied with the bread and sugar water, these guys are depressed because they need a bigger cup size. Do you get it? And what I want to say, and again, I'm not saying these individuals shouldn't be doing their bodies and whatever problem they're going to have down the road is none of my business. What I'm saying is, as women and as black women, because I can't speak for other women, as black women, I'm just saying, wow, look at how folks have found a way how to capitalize on our bodies. The old, listen, we want to move away from talking about slavery, but the mental part of it, it's difficult because the shackles are not on the feet anymore. It's on the mind. But it's not just about the shackles on the mind. It's the power of the machine to constantly keep the black body in bondage. And now it seems like, well, we have more independence. We're able to do whatever we want to do with our body. But they don't realize, or we are not realizing, that it's just more of the same. Because somehow someone taught us that we were not good enough. And I'm not speaking for other women, because other women of other race do it too. I'm not concerned about other folks. We need to stop talking about other people, what they're doing and what they're thinking and what they're feeling. I'm not doing that. I'm talking about my own community, what I'm seeing with the young girls in my community. See, it wasn't enough to add the extensions anymore. Because you see, when you don't love yourself, it's never going to be enough. So it's not enough to just do the extensions anymore. It's not good enough to just bleach the skin anymore. It's not enough to just, you know, do the boobs anymore. It's not just enough to do the butt anymore. There's always going to be something new where it's not enough. So, struggling with poverty growing up and looking back now at what seemed like such a joyful time, I'm realizing that these young people have a lot more to worry about. This social media has created a monster in all of us. See, I was going to come on here and joke about this topic, but for some reason, all of a sudden, I'm in a somber mood. The money that we're using to do these kinds of surgery, can you imagine if that money was invested? Imagine if a girl has the ability to do her whole body, and she brags about how many, you know, thousands of dollars that she uses. If she was taking that money to buy a house and to rent that house, imagine the kind of fortune she would build over a 20-year period. No condemnation in this video. I just want to say to the young ladies out there that are going under surgery, going under the knife, I want to say to you, it's not your body part that you want to get better or improve. It's your mind. I want to say to you that when the older women do it, I'm not saying that I'm condoning or I'm condemning it. But when they physically look at their bodies and it's changed so drastically, there's a little part of me that get it, but I just don't understand when young people do it. Because it's not that you're sagging. A lot of the times when you do it, it's because you want to be in competition with the other ladies. And that just goes to show that the mindset of our young people, not understanding that if you have to be out there competing for a man's attention by loading yourself up with silicone, I think that's what it's called, or all these things that are eventually going to be very harmful to your body. Because listen, understand it's business for these individuals who are doing this surgery. And when they realize that there's so many people who are interested in it now, they're going to start using faulty ingredients or things in your body because they're greedy. So before they might have focused on using something that would be less dangerous. Now they're just going to be using anything to fill your body because of the money, and do it in such a way that you always have to come back. It's not my business to tell you how to live your life. I'm just pointing out how things have changed over the years. And it's your body, yes. And you have the right to decide what you want to do with it. I agree. But I also want you to know that if things don't work out, and instead of your boobs heading south, your health goes south, don't expect us to help you cry. Because a lot of you are when you're showing these boobs and when you're cursing each other about whose body look better and whose body pop down, I hope you're going to be as strong on your life. You turn on your life to say, you know, how much your health has decreased. Because it's only a matter of time. Because remember, greedy people, people who are benefiting from these surgeries that you're doing, they're not telling the whole truth. And they will not be able to tell you how your body is going to respond to it. So someone else might do it, might have implants for 30, 40 years and nothing ever went wrong with them. Or have butt injections and nothing ever happened to their health. Everybody doesn't have the same luck. So while I'm steering clear of, you know, putting condemnation on you for a choice that you've made about your own life, I'm just reminding you that when you take these risks, I'm sure you know the risk, because I'm sure they tell you in the fine print when you sign these things what the health risks are, and you are willing to take those risks. Then I say, you know, if that's what makes you happy, that's what brings you joy, be prepared to live with the consequences. The dumpling and the butter that used to taste so sweet don't taste good no more. And I've gone home and had that chicken back fried. I don't taste so good anymore. So something might feel good and taste good at one point and eventually becomes very bitter to the taste. Yeah, things and times have changed. But wow, I'm amazed at these young people these days. Amazed at how things have changed so much, that the things that are important to people nowadays, wow, it blows my mind. And leaves me wondering if I'm just too old. Stay blessed, everybody.